So we've just left the Smokies and made it through Knoxville through horrible rain. It stopped raining for a while and now it's raining again. But I want to take this time while I drive, while the girls are passed out in the back, to talk a little bit about the place where we stayed, Pigeon Forge Landing RV Resort. Not sure what makes it a resort, except for maybe the fact that it has a swimming pool. It looked like it had a pretty cool hot tub next to the swimming pool. You'll see video of that here in a minute. But $125 a night, is it worth that? No. It's nice that the sites were level. They're all on a concrete pad. I would have preferred gravel because they kind of skimped on the concrete, and so the pad was just big enough for your trailer and one vehicle really. And then they had like a cutout in that concrete pad for their picnic table to sit on, but it was literally just big enough for the picnic table and for the rig. You had to walk around the picnic table in the muddy grass. And the thing about the grass is it's so tall, it would tickle your ankles. That is a pet peeve of mine. I can't stand how that feels. And don't charge me $125 a night for me to walk through grass that's coming up to my shins. Plus it was muddy grass. It wasn't like all filled in. They didn't sod it, which I get. Sod's super expensive, but do a better job of seeding it before you start renting these places out at that price point. Like if you're just opening up and you want to go ahead and rent your sites, okay, do it, but at a discounted rate. Was not worth $125 a night. The reason we pay that is because we had a site on the water. The whole place is surrounded by a creek. Sounds pretty nice. And you could see the creek. You knew it was there, but there were such tall weeds growing up all around the bank that you still couldn't see the water. I'm about 5'3", and I could see it. I could enough to know it was there when I stood up. But sitting down, like if you're just wanting to sit and chill and with the creek as your view, no, that was not your view. In fact, across from us was like some kind of municipal site. I could see a chain link fence and a building with big bay doors. I don't know if it was water treatment or fire department or something like that, but not the best view if you're wanting to be out in nature. Like Alan said, it felt like we were sitting in a parking lot. Because the nicest concrete pads are to provide a level site. It feels like a parking lot. There were no trees, no shade. I mean, there are trees along the bank of the creek, so there is that, but not in the campground at all. They did have nice facilities. I got some footage of that, which you'll see. But as far as what we got for our money, because we've got a travel trailer with a really nice bathroom. I don't need to go to use their bathrooms. We weren't there long enough to need to do any laundry. We didn't use the pool. We were out doing other things. So we were paying the $125 for the creek because it looked like the sites were going to be, well, they are on the water, but they looked like they were going to have a view of that, and they really didn't. The girls were able to walk down a little bit and cut through all of that. So the girls were able to go down to the creek and play in it, but I couldn't see them from the site, which I didn't like. Again, I thought I was going to be able to see the creek, and if they went down to it, we were going to be able to see what they were doing, keep an eye on them. We couldn't. I had to keep checking both of our cars to fit in it properly. There's a lot of mud at the end near the road. Well, not the road, but you know, the path that snakes through the campground. So I got mud all over my tires. I'd have to back in at an angle and get in there like sideways. It was a huge pain in the butt. Alan had to move the fire ring when he first got there because it was about 2 feet away from his truck, and like he said, who wants their fire like 2 feet from your truck? Really odd placement. Another odd placement was where they put the grill. It was right next to the picnic table, which sounds nice and convenient, and in some cases it would be, but if you'd actually used it and gotten it hot, and you had especially smaller children running around, it would have made me a nervous wreck, because you had to walk in between the picnic table and that grill, you know, to get around the picnic table and stuff, and I could just see that being a big hazard. You know, you have a little kid bump into it, burn their arm or their face or something. Just was not a good idea to put it where they put it. Just odd choices like that all around. Oh, and the road in. One lane, at least through one section of it.
Watch out, vehicle stopped on shoulder ahead.
I don't know what exactly you do if you met another RV or trailer being pulled through there. And they were doing construction on it, so it was hard to find. In fact, Thursday night when the girls and I got there, we drove right past it and ended up having to do this big circle and come back around and look for it again. But the location is good. It's right there at the beginning of Pigeon Forge. So that was really nice. It's a quick shot. Anything we wanted to go do, you know, we were right there and could do it without it being a big hassle. So that was nice. So if that's the kind of trip you want, then you know this place might be for you. If you're wanting a more outdoorsy type trip, my recommendation would be to go camp in Townsend. But that's my 2 cents on Pigeon Forge Landing RV Resort. So this is the bathroom and laundry facility that's out in the middle of the campground. This is the women's bathroom. I wasn't going to try to go into the men's to film. But as you can see, it's really nice and spacious, and it's brand new, so everything's still super clean. The clubhouse up at the front where the pool is also has another laundry facility and bathrooms and showers also. Looks like some hardware was missing there. This is the laundry room. Got a nice space to fold. And a cash machine. I did not think to get a better shot of what these machines take, but hopefully that's at least somewhat helpful. Here you've got a dog run. Right, it's right across from this building. This is the main building up front. Ice machines, and then more bathrooms, showers, and another laundry facility. There's also a gym and a conference center. If you need any coupons or tourist information stuff, they've got one in there, and apparently they sell tickets to things in the lobby. That looks pretty nice. Pretty smart to put a first aid kit right by the pool. If you notice right there, they've got a thing for firewood. It looks like they were just sold out. They have firewood and charcoal, which is handy. So this is where our site was in the loop. If you look over here, you can see the stacks on the museum, the Titanic. And here's our site. You see how I had to park at an odd angle every time. And part of the time we were here, this dirt was all mud. You can see it just kept dragging it out into the ground. I don't know why they just didn't seed this better. You can kind of see there how the vehicles fit. And if you'll notice this spot on the ground, that's where the original fire ring was, so that left a bunch of ash. We had to be careful not to let the dog step in. And as you can see, the grass looks awful. You can tell how tall it is. Right here, you can see what I meant about the grill, how close it is to the table, but not so close that it didn't prevent people from wanting to step through it, as Alan was just doing. So that's the creek. Can you tell a creek is over there? Not really. You couldn't even really hear the water, so we didn't even have that going at least. You do have this nice area to set up like a canopy and, a seating area that's kind of near the water, which if you could see the water, that would be awesome. Here you can kind of see the pad was so small that the back end hung off of it, which is no big deal, but you can kind of tell there's not a great place for chairs because there's not enough room on the pad for all the chairs, but Alan kept setting his up there, so we kind of wanted to gather around that, but it just wasn't working. You can tell it's a lot prettier when the sun was out, but still, look at that grass, if you can call it grass. So this is down by the creek, obviously. You can notice that the water's very slow. It's not deep. It's kind of perfect to let your kids play in. So it does have that going for it, for sure. It's not moving quickly enough that somebody's going to get swept away. And it's nice and clear and just chill. It was perfect for the kids to play in. So it does have that going for it. The girls called me down
at one point because there was a crane in the water, which you will see there. So that's pretty much everything I have to share about this resort. I hope it's helpful. Not trying to complain, just trying to be honest, so that you've got realistic expectations of what you'll get.